Now we are going to discuss is the topic related to the introduction to automobile engineering. Introduction to automobile engineering. So if you come to the next slide, before going to explain about automobile engineering, first we need to know about what is automobile. Automobile is a combination of two words. It's a combination of two words. One is auto, another one is mobile. Auto means self-propelled. Mobile means vehicle. A self-propelled vehicle is known as automobile. Okay, a self-propelled vehicle is known as automobile. Another definition is for an automobile is a wheeled vehicle which is having its own motive power. A wheeled vehicle which is having its own motive power is known as automobile, right? So which one act as an motive power here? The power which is generated by the engine. The power generated by the engine is known as the motive power, which helps the vehicle to move in a forward direction, right? So this is the definition of an automobile, right? So now if you observe the screen, if you observe the screen, the point given for automobile engineering. So it is related to the definition of the automobile engineering, right? So if you observe the definition, automobile engineering is a branch of engineering which deals with everything about automobile and practices to propel them, right? So the point explains about it's a branch of engineering, right? It's a branch of engineering which deals with everything about automobile and the practices. What are the practices to propel them? To propel the automobile. So, if a branch of engineering which deals with automobile and the practices to propel the automobile is known as automobile engineering. Coming to the second point on the screen, automobile is a vehicle, right? Automobile is a vehicle driven by an internal combustion engine, driven by an internal combustion engine, and it is used for transportation of passengers and goods on the ground. Transportation of passengers and goods on the ground, right? So a vehicle which is driven by an internal combustion engine. Vehicle which is driven by an internal combustion engine is known as automobile. So what is the function? What is the purpose? Right. The purpose of the automobile is to transport the passengers and goods on the ground. To transport the passengers and goods on the ground is the purpose of the automobile. Automobile means a vehicle which is driven by internal combustion engine. Purpose of the automobile is transport the passengers and goods on the ground. Coming to the next point on the screen, automobile can also defined as a vehicle which move by itself. Example: car, jeep, bus, truck, scooter, etc. Right. So can be defined as a vehicle which can move by itself. So how it is moving? With help of the motive power, where it is generating from the internal combustion engine. After generating the power should transmit to the rear wheels. How it is happening? With help of the transmission system, right? So vehicle which is having its own motive power to run by itself is known as automobile. Example is car, jeep, bus, truck, scooter, etc. Right. So you can observe the diagram on the screen. So this is the steam powered steam powered automobile, right? So through this container we can generate the steam, and with help of this steam the engine will run. If engine produces the power, then vehicle moves forward direction. This is the first car manufactured, right? Coming to the second diagram, bench bench pattern motor wagon, right? So if you observe here, it appears like as a horse cart, right? Horse cart is there, no, like as horse cart, but it is having its engine. This is the engine which is transferring power to the rear wheel, right? So this is the steering wheel, which steers the vehicle either left side or right side. If you observe here, it appears like as a rickshaw, right? So this is the is having three wheels, right? Front wheel is to steer the vehicle either left or right or straight, and last, if you observe the remaining two wheels, which gets power from the engine through the chain drive, right? So this is the vehicle which is manufactured by the bench, right? So these are the olden days automobiles, right? Coming to the next slide we are going to discuss is components of a four-wheel automobile. Components of a four-wheeler automobile. So if you observe the first point, about 1500 separate parts are put together to make an automobile. So if you want to manufacture an automobile, means it's a combination of 1500 separate parts, right? It's a combination of 1500 separate parts. What are you saying about 1500? It may be less or plus, right? It may be plus or minus. Or how you can say that it is a 1500? Maybe it is 1500 plus spare parts will be there, or less than 1500 spare parts will be there. So round figure we are assuming that 1500 parts. Assumption, right? It is an assumption, not a clear value, right? Coming to the next point, these parts are grouped into several systems, right? We are going to making these parts into several systems, like transmission system, right? Controls, right? Auxiliaries, right? Basic structure, is it right? So like that, different parts are combined to form several systems, right? If you observe the next slide, the first point is each system is made up of two or more parts that work together to perform a specific job, right? So system is made up of two or more parts, right? So if you, for example, if you observe transmission system is a combination of clutch, gearbox, right? Universal joint, propeller shaft, again universal joint, differential, right? Right? So these six combination is known as transmission system. Six parts combination is known as transmission system. So it can be the example of the system, right? So what is the purpose? What is the function of a transmission system? To transfer the power generated from the engine to rear wheels. So that is the purpose. That is the purpose. Okay. So that is the job need to done by transmission system. Right. Coming to the next point on the screen, the automotive vehicles are produced in large varieties of sizes and shapes. So automobile vehicles are produced in large number, in a mass production with the different shapes and sizes, with variety of sizes according to the consumer, according to the customer need, right? Coming to the next point, all have the same basic parts and systems, right? All the automobiles having same basic parts and systems, okay, right? Body, the appearance, shape, size may be varied, but the basic parts present in the automobile will not vary, right? So now in detail we are going to discuss about components of a automobile, right? So if you observe here, components of automobile is classified into two parts. First, it is classified into two parts. What are that? Chassis and body, right? So what is the definition of chassis? Except body, except body, remaining everything present on the vehicle is known as chassis. Except body, remaining everything present in the vehicle is known as chassis, right? So now we are going to discuss about chassis. First we have observed the definition of chassis. Now what is the definition of a body? A body is one which protects the occupant from the atmospheric conditions. Okay, so occupants are different systems present in an automobile can be protected with help of the body. Okay, occupants and the parts present in the automobile can protected from the atmospheric conditions by the body, right? Another name we can call for the body is superstructure. Okay, superstructure, right? Now for the two classifications of an automobile, that is chassis and body, we now observe the definitions of the chassis and body. Now we go for the classification of chassis. Chassis again classified into five parts or five systems we can say. So five parts. First one is basic structure. Second one is the engine. Third one is the transmission system. Fourth one is the control. Fifth one is the auxiliaries, right? So chassis is classified into five parts. First one is basic structure. Second one is engine. Third one is transmission. Fourth one is control. Fifth one is auxiliaries, right? So coming to the first part, that is basic structure, right? Basic structure is a combination of four parts. Basic structure is a combination of four parts. What are the parts? Frame, suspension, axle, wheels and tires, right? Frame, suspension, axle, wheels and tire combination. These four parts combination is known as basic structure, right? So upon the basic structure, remaining systems are assembled, right? On the basic structure, remaining systems such as engine, transmission system, controls, auxiliaries are mounted. Is it right? Now coming to the engine. What is the purpose of an engine? The purpose of an engine is to generate the motive power. To generate the motive power. The engine may be an IC engine, internal combustion engine. Again, internal combustion engine according to the customer need or usage. It can again divided into SI engine, CI engine, spark ignition engine, compression ignition engine according to his comfort or according to his usage, right? Now coming to the next part, that is transmission system. So what is the function of a transmission system? The function of a transmission system is to transfer the power generated from engine to rear wheels. Okay, so engine to rear wheels through some components such as clutch, gearbox, universal joint, propeller shaft, universal joint, differential. Right. By these components, the power is transmitted from engine to rear wheels. Right. So that is the function of a transmission system. It's a combination of transmission system is a combination of six parts. What are that parts? First part is the clutch, second part is the gearbox, third part is the universal joint, fifth part is the propeller shaft, sixth part is the universal joint, and last part is the differential. Right. So these six parts combination is known as the transmission system. Function is to transfer the power from engine to the rear wheels. Right. Coming to the next part, next system of the chassis. Okay, next part of the chassis and next system of the chassis is controls. Right. So controls, again, it is a combination of two systems. One is braking system, another one is steering system. Right. So what is the function of a braking system? To stop or slow down the vehicle within fraction of seconds. Right. So that is the function of a braking system. Now coming to the steering system, what is the function of a steering system? The function of a steering system is to change the direction of the vehicle. Right. To maintain the direction of the vehicle. Right. So these are the functions of a steering system and braking system. So this is the fourth part of the chassis. Coming to the fifth part, that is auxiliaries. That is auxiliaries. Auxiliaries is a combination of electrical circuits, that is starting system, right, charging system, lighting circuit, right, lighting circuit, horn, wipers, gauges, etc. will comes under the auxiliaries. So without auxiliaries, vehicle can run, vehicle can move without auxiliaries. Is it possible or not? Yes, it is possible, because without starting system, with help of the rope we can crank the engine, then engine will start. Right. So if starting system is not there, if lighting system is not there, then what is the need of the battery? If battery is not there, then what is the need of a charging system? Right. Is it right? So like that, these auxiliaries, if auxiliary is present, then we can run the vehicle in very safe mode, right, without damaging the engine or remaining parts. Right. So these are the parts are known as auxiliaries. Without auxiliaries, it is possible to run the vehicle. Right. So these are the components of an automobile. Right. So in brief, we will discuss now. So if you observe here, this is the diagram related to the components of automobile. So in this diagram, you can observe different parts are there. Right. So chassis. First we will go for the combination of two parts. Automobile is a combination of two parts. One is chassis and the one is body. So observe here. So chassis means everything present on the vehicle except the body. Body is the top part. This is the body which protects the parts of an automobile and the occupants present in the vehicle from the atmospheric condition. Okay, right. Coming to the next one, chassis. Chassis is a combination of five parts. Right. One is basic structure, engine, that is power unit, transmission, transmission system, controls, auxiliaries, right? So if you observe here, engine is there. Before going to the engine, the first part is the basic structure. Basic structure is frame. Frame is there, is it right? Frame plus suspensions plus wheels and tires plus, right, wheels and tires, frame and suspension system combination, right, is known as basic structure, right? So now you can observe here, basic structure is visible or not, right? Tires, wheels and tires, axle, suspension system, frames will comes under the basic structure. So first part is clear. Coming to the second part, that is engine. So you can observe here, engine is there, is it right? Engine. So third part is the transmission. So you can observe the transmission. This is the gearbox. Okay, this is the gear selecting lever, and this is the propeller shaft, which is connected with two universal joints, and this is the differential. Is it right? These system, these parts combination system is known as the transmission system. Now transmission system is also clear. Coming to the fourth one, that is controls. So it is not visible over here, but brakes will be there. So you can observe here the brake. Front part consists of a disc brake, rear part consists of a drum brake, right? So to stop the vehicle, braking system is helpful, and here steering system is there, steering wheel, right, stub axle, tie rod, okay, all combination is the steering system. Steering system changes or maintains the direction of the vehicle. Coming to the auxiliaries, auxiliaries is lighting system, right, starting system, charging system, and gauges, horn, these all comes under the auxiliaries, right? So now it is very clear that an automobile is a combination of different parts, and different parts the combination is some several systems. Several system combination is the automobile vehicle, right, or vehicle, right? So now first we will discuss about the main components of an automobile. The first one is the basic structure. It consists of a frame, the suspension system, axle, wheels and tires, right? Frame, suspension system, axle, wheels and tires combination is the basic structure. The function of a basic structure is to mount, which help to mount the remaining systems of the vehicle, okay, which helps to mount the remaining systems on the basic structure, right? Coming to the next one, engine. It provides the motive power for all the various functions which the vehicle or any parts or it may be required to perform, right? The engine for the automotive use is of internal combustion engine, right? So you can observe here the definition of the engine. So how an engine is helpful means, the engine which generates the motive power. It may be an SI engine or it may be CI engine, but it is definitely an internal combustion engine, because which generates more power with less consumption of the fuel. With less percentage of the fuel generates more amount of the power. Then the type of engine is known as internal combustion engines, may be classified into SI or CI according to the usage of the vehicle, right? So if you observe, what is the example for the engine? If you consider the human body is an example for the automobile. Engine is the heart, okay. Heart will sends the purified blood to remaining parts. Whatever the parts present in the body, heart will sense the purified blood, will suck the impure blood, right? If pure blood is sent to any part, if you observe the hand consists of several cells, right, several active cells. If the cells are not getting the blood, not getting the energy from the heart, then what happens? The cell will die. If cell die, if cell die, then heart will, sorry, then the part that is nothing but the hand will not work in the proper condition. Hand will paralyzed, right? So, like as the heart in our human body, in automobile also, engine is the heart, which sends the power to all the parts to coming to the action. If the part need to come into the action, if system need to come into the action, okay, that part need to get the power. So that power is supplied from the engine, right? That engine may be an internal combustion engine or external combustion engine. Most probably we will use internal combustion engine. In that internal combustion engine, according to the customer comfort, it may be SI or CI engine, right? Now coming to the next slide and the next part of the next component of the automobile, that is transmission system. Transmission system, it consists of a clutch, it consists of a clutch, a gearbox giving 4, 5 or even more different ratios of the torque output to torque input, a propeller shaft to transmit the torque output from the gearbox to rear axle, and a differential gear to distribute the final torque equally between the driving wheels, right? So that means a transmission system which is helpful to transfer the power from engine to the rear wheels, right? Rear wheels are nothing but the driving wheels through some components such as, what are the components? Clutch, right? Clutch, gearbox, right? Clutch, gearbox, propeller shaft, universal joint, differential, right? So what is the purpose of a clutch? It consists of a clutch, a gearbox, right? Gear clutch is used to engage. When the clutch is in engaged position, power is transmitted from engine to the gearbox. So what is the purpose? If it was disengaged, power will not transmitted from engine to the gearbox, right? Coming to the gearbox, what is the function of a gearbox? It sets 4 to 5 gear ratios, right? For the torque input, for the torque input will get different ratios, that is different 6 torque outputs can be set with help of different gear ratios. Coming to the propeller shaft, what is the function of propeller shaft? To transmit the power from gearbox to the differential with help of a universal joint, right? So from the gearbox to the rear axle, in between one differential is there. So differential gets the torque and finally it sets the final torque and sends equal torque to the driving wheels, right? Coming to the next one, auxiliaries. One in out of the automobile, all the electrical systems are considered as auxiliaries. Without electrical systems also vehicle can be moved, right? Coming to the next one, that is related to the controls, right? They consist of a steering system and brakes. So right, steering system is to change the direction of the vehicle, brakes is to slow down or stop the vehicle within fraction of seconds. Coming to the next one, that is superstructure, that is the body. In this case where frameless construction is not adopted, there must be a superstructure. So if it was a frameless construction, body itself act as a frame, right? If it was a framed construction, body is the superstructure which protects the occupants or parts of an automobile from the atmospheric conditions, right?